Master your money, or your money would definitely master you. My name is Darius.
And I'm Carmen.
And what we want to cover today in this video is how to be good with money.
Yep.
Because it's so important that we start putting our money to work so that it can start adding value to us in our lives so that we can start getting the results that we want financially.
Oh yeah. And when you think about it, money affects everything. Money is the reason why you're watching us on YouTube right now. Money is the reason why you have shelter. Money is the reason why you have transportation. Money is the reason why you have food. But if we spend all this time educating ourselves on how to be good employees or business owners, we don't spend that same amount of time learning how to manage our money. If it affects everything. So what we want to hammer home in this video are 3 common points that we want to make sure that you understand so that you can really have the perspective you need in order to start mastering your money.
And the first thing we want to cover is RESPECT. We need to respect our money. Because let's think about it, when we talk about money in general on this channel, we talk about mindset.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk about is the actual physical dollar that we may have in our hands. Is it crumbled up in our pocket? Do we have it thrown in a shoebox and stuffed away in our closet? Well, that is saying that we don't respect our money, because that money that's crumbled up in your pocket or the money that's stashed away in your closet, it has no purpose.
Yep.
Every single dollar that we have has to have a job to do. It has to have a job to do, and it has to serve us for the things that we want in life, for our food, for our water, for our shelter. Those dollars have a job to do, and it has to be put to work.
Yes, and if we put a mindset spin on things, when you're talking about the respect of money, if you have a dollar crumpled up in your purse or in your pocket or somewhere in your car, you're basically telling yourself and you're telling the universe that you have no respect for money. So think about this for a moment. Let's say that you buy a gift for someone and you notice that they never used the gift or they treated it poorly. Now you're going to start thinking twice before you gift that person something else, because you realize that they didn't respect what you did for them. So put that in perspective when it comes to your money, because you want to make sure that you're putting the good vibes out there and making sure that the universe understands that you respect money.
Yeah, and let's start with having an emergency fund.
Yeah.
Emergency fund is very important to us because the average American doesn't have more than $1,000 to their name. So it's very important that we start with an emergency fund so that if things do arrive, we don't have to go in debt to get ourselves out of that situation, which in turn puts us further and further in the hole. So make sure you have an emergency fund for emergencies that could happen.
So take this challenge, put $1,000 away in savings as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah, and by doing that, you'll set yourself apart from most Americans and put yourself on the right track to being good with money.
You'll already be ahead of the game. Now, these are things that we talk about on the Wealth Nation channel. So if you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notifications bell so that you're notified when we post new videos. Point number 2 is know the value of money. Now, this may seem simple, but take a moment and really think about it. Because as it stands in our society, we have debit cards, we have credit cards. We're not dealing with paper money these days. So it's really easy to just swipe and not really understand how much we're spending. And this really happens a lot in the grocery store, for example. So you buy a cart ton of groceries, the next thing you know, you leave with $200 later trying to figure out what you bought. I know we hear that conversation a lot. Groceries are so expensive. But do you know how much a gallon of milk costs? Do you know how much a gallon of gas costs? When's the last time you actually figured this information out?
Right, because a lot of times what we do is we just go and we buy it, and whatever the total is at the end, that's just what we spend. We go to put gas in our car and we just go and fill it up, and whatever that total is, that's just what we spend. We have to start understanding the cost of these items so that we can start wrapping our mind around the value of money. Now, this also goes when it relates to borrowing money. Whenever we borrow money, we look at that as a way of reducing our monthly minimum payments. But what we do is we end up overspending for every single thing that we finance. So what that does for someone else is it increases the value to them, because they were able to lend you that money, or the bank was able to lend you that money, and they got more money back in return. That's not the case for us, because we ended up overspending it. We didn't know the value of it, so we spent more for the item than what it's worth.
Yeah, and it's easy for us to do this. We have financing everywhere we go. Think about all the purchases that we make. There's an opportunity to finance your products and services. And it doesn't hurt us that much as consumers because we don't understand the value of money.
Right.
We're just like, oh, the monthly payment's $200, sign me up. And that's all we know. But you realize that you probably are spending thousands of dollars additionally in interest.
And the actual numbers behind that is 33% of our income is spent on interest. It's not even the actual product that we're purchasing or financing. It's just in interest that we spend a third of our income on.
Yes. So if you make $100,000 a year,
$33,000 is on interest.
$33,000 is interest. That's a nice car. That's a lot of people's income. That's a lot of money.
So what we want to do is really start understanding the value of how much things actually cost, doing our research and saving up the money for it and spending our own money versus borrowing someone else's money. Every time we use someone else's money, it costs us more of our own money.
Additionally, and spending wisely, right? It's all about spending wisely, understanding, like Darius said in the very first point, every dollar has a job. But if you aren't spending wisely, none of your money has a job and it's just out being spent, which actually leads us to point number 3, which is make a plan. Because if you don't have a plan for your money, then you're just going to be spending frivolously. And that happens all the time because if you go shopping, you buy clothes that you don't need, you buy groceries that you don't need. We buy houses and cars and all these things that we don't need because it makes us feel better.
Right. Now, it's okay to buy houses if you're going to have someone renting it out.
Yes.
That's how your dollar appreciates. So what we want to do is make sure you purchase things and invest in things that appreciate over time, not things that are going to depreciate. So it might be nice for you to have this beautiful car that's fully loaded with the leather interior and the 20-inch rims with the shiny rims on it. So
depending on where you are in the country.
Depending on where you are. So what happens when we purchase this car is it starts depreciating as soon as we buy it. So what we want to do is just buy enough car that we need, that we can maybe purchase outright so we don't have to financing and spend interest on. You may think, oh, I can get 0% for a certain period of time. I'm not talking about that. Let's go ahead and purchase the car outright so that we can start using those extra funds in something that is appreciating over time. Let's put our money into investments that will give us more money when we go to use it again in the future.
Talking about having a plan. So with every single dollar that you have and you assign a job to every dollar, when you are investing your money and getting more money back in return, now we have a plan. Now that's when you start mastering your money instead of your money mastering you. And once you buckle down on your plan and start having goals and understanding exactly where your money is going and how much money is coming back to you, that's how you can start changing up your lifestyle and start doing a lot of the things that you enjoy instead of doing things because you have to.
Now let's recap the things that we've talked about thus far. The first thing was RESPECT, respect your money. We have to make sure we respect our money so our money can have a job to do every single time we send it out to work.
Exactly. And make sure you write a comment below and write hashtag RESPECT so that we make sure that you all understand that you need to respect your money.
And the second point was know how much things cost. Understand how much money we're spending when we go to the grocery store for each item.
Yeah.
Understand how much money we're spending in gas for each gallon. Understand the value of money. And the third thing was to make a plan. Make a plan for the things that you want to get accomplished. Start with the end in mind and work your way backwards to get there. And there's a bonus that I want to share with you because you made it this far in this video, and that is to copy. Find someone that has a similar plan to yours but have a lot more money and copy.
Do not reinvent the wheel.
Nope.
So it's really, really helpful when you start surrounding yourself with people who have more money because then you start thinking about things in a different way.
Right, and there's one thing that I can promise to you or I can guarantee to you is that people that have money love talking about money. So
that's true.
Ask questions and then just let them go. They will tell you every single thing that you need to know, and even give you some pointers on how you can start adjusting your financial plan to start attracting more money into your bank account.
And one thing that we've been taught from a mindset perspective of people who actually have money is that they're stuck up or they're difficult to deal with. I would say that's quite the contrary. In a general fashion, not everybody is perfect.
Right, because you have people that don't have money that are stuck up.
And they're more miserable than the people who have money. That's the point that I was trying to make, is a lot of the wealthy individuals that we have befriended are the warmest, most generous people and are willing to help you accomplish the goals that you need to accomplish. So don't be intimidated by people if they have more money than you do. If anything, that's just an opportunity for you to raise your hand and say, tell me everything that you do so that I can become a better person.
Yeah, if you want to talk about spending money, take them out to dinner and bring a notepad and just ask them a question and let them go. Start taking notes, and they'll respect you for it because you actually are trying to put yourself in a better financial position to align yourself with attracting more money into your bank account.
Exactly, and if you can't afford dinner, take them out to coffee. At least you're treating them to something, and you gotta start somewhere. So good luck surrounding yourself with people who have more money than you do. Now, the next thing that we want you to do is like, share, and subscribe.
And check out our next video about the secrets of banking.
And don't forget to own your own lifestyle.
Or someone else will.